At dawn, when most of the city is still asleep, there's a football pitch at the edge of town. The air is cold, and there's only one person there. Victor. He runs alone. No crowd, no coach, shouting, just the sound of his breath and his footsteps hitting the ground. Every sprint burns, but he keeps going, because somewhere deep inside him, there's a belief that refuses to die. At the very same moment, on the other side of the city, Kelvin is awake too, but his night looks very different. The room is dark, the curtains are drawn, the light comes from a single bulb hanging overhead. On the table in front of him is a stack of money. Kelvin counts it slowly, carefully, one note at a time. Distant sirens echo through. Kelvin pauses, listens, then continues counting. Once upon a time, in a small town where nobody expected much from anyone. Kelvin and Victor are like brothers from different home. They ran the same dusty streets, shared the same meals, dreamed the same dream. They wanted to be footballers, to escape the life they were born into. They used to say it out loud. One day we'll make it. One day they'll know our names. But life doesn't always care about promises. And it definitely doesn't treat patience and desperation the same way. Because somewhere between childhood and adulthood, between hope and hunger, life forced them to choose. Victor chose discipline, waking up early, training alone, getting rejected, and coming back again. Kelvin chose survival, fast money, fast respect. Neither of them thought they were choosing wrong. A small town most people passed through, but never stayed long enough to remember. The roads were narrow and dusty. Houses leaned slightly with age. And electricity came and went like it had a mind of its own. But for Kelvin and Victor, this town was the whole world. They grew up just a few streets apart, close enough to hear each other, shouting from across the road, close enough that distance never mattered. Every afternoon, after school, they met at the same open field. There were no goalposts, just 2 stones on each side to mark the goals. No football boots, bare feet. And when they didn't have a real ball, they made one plastic bag's old socks, tied together with string. That was enough, because when you're young, dreams don't need permission. They played until the sky turned orange, until their mothers shouted their names from far away, until their legs hurt and their throats were dry. And every time the game ended the same way, they lay on the ground staring up at the sky, breathing hard, talking about the future. Victor talked about stadiums, about crowds chanting his name, about wearing a jersey with his number on the back. Kelvin talked about helping his family, fixing his mother's house, never worrying about money again. Different reasons, but the same dream. Football was the plan. Not a hobby, not a fantasy. The plan. At night, they watched matches through neighbors' windows, sometimes standing outside in the dark just to catch a glimpse of the screen. They copied the moves they saw, argued about who was better, promised each other something important. No matter what happened, they would make it together. The town watched them grow. People started to notice. Those boys can play, someone would say. Teachers shook their heads. Football won't take you anywhere. Parents worried. Dreams don't put food on the table. But Kelvin and Victor didn't hear any of that, because when you believe in something hard enough, reality sounds like noise. Then one day, the idea of leaving came up. The city, the place where dreams were supposed to come true, where academies existed, where scouts watched games, where opportunity lived. It started as a joke, then a conversation, then a serious plan. The town felt smaller after that, like it was slowly shrinking around them. Victor saw the city as hope. Kelvin saw it as escape. They didn't know it yet, but that difference would matter a lot. They decided to discuss the idea of leaving with their parents to chase their dreams. But at first their families were afraid. but they realized that they can't hold them forever, and someday they have to fight for their survival. The both parents agreed for them to go and find their path. They packed light, a few clothes, worn-out boots, and more dreams than they could carry. The morning they left, the sun wasn't even fully up. Mothers hugged tightly. Fathers gave quiet advice. No big speeches, no guarantees, just one shared belief, maybe, just maybe, this could change everything. As the bus pulled away, the small town disappeared behind them, and with it, the last moment of their lives when everything still felt simple, because the city was waiting. And it doesn't treat everyone the same. Next came the city. And reality. The city didn't welcome them. It didn't announce itself. It didn't slow down. It just kept moving. Buildings stretched higher than anything they'd ever seen. Cars never stopped coming. People walked fast, like they were already late for something important. Kelvin and Victor stepped off the bus with small bags and big expectations. At first, everything felt possible. Stadiums in the distance, posters of famous players on walls, academy banners hanging over gates. This was it. This was where dreams turned real. But reality doesn't arrive all at once. It comes in pieces. The first piece was money, or the lack of it. They stayed in a cramped room shared with too many people, thin mattresses on the floor, a fan that barely worked, walls that didn't keep sound or heat out. They ate once a day when they were lucky, twice when things went well. Still they trained. Every morning Victor woke up early, before the sun, before the noise. He ran through empty streets, did drills alone, stretched until his muscles screamed. Kelvin trained too, but not with the same fire. He tried. At first, they went to trials together. Long lines of boys, just like them. Same dream, same hunger. Coaches watched for seconds, not minutes. A few touches, a quick glance, a shake of the head. Next. No explanations. No second chances. Rejection started to feel normal. Victor wrote down every mistake, every weakness, everything he needed to improve. Kelvin started asking questions. How long will this take? How many more rejections? What if this never works? Weeks passed. Then months. Money ran thinner. Hunger grew louder. The city stopped feeling exciting. It started feeling cold. Victor still believed. Kelvin started resenting belief. Because belief doesn't pay rent. Belief doesn't stop hunger. Belief doesn't make people respect you. At night, they talked less. The same room. The same silence. Victor planned for tomorrow. Kelvin thought about today. And slowly, almost without noticing, the dream they shared began to split into two different meanings. For Victor, football was still the way out. For Kelvin, survival was starting to feel more important. And that's when the city did what it does best. It noticed weakness and offered shortcuts. It didn't happen all at once. There was no big argument, no dramatic fight, just small moments that started to feel heavier than they should. Victor woke up earlier every day. He trained longer, ran farther. Even when his legs felt like they might give out, he kept going. He believed effort would eventually be noticed. Kelvin watched him sometimes, from the doorway, from the side of the pitch. At first, he admired it. Then he questioned it. Then he quietly started to resent it. Because while Victor trained, Kelvin calculated. He calculated how long their money would last, how many meals they were skipping, how often rejection came faster than hope. Victor talked about patience. Kelvin talked about reality. One night, sitting on the floor of their room, Kelvin finally said it. How long do you think this will take? Victor didn't look up. As long as it needs to. Kelvin laughed, not because it was funny, but because it scared him. Another trial came. Another rejection. Victor stayed behind to ask questions, to listen, to learn. Kelvin walked away early. Outside the gate, he noticed things he hadn't paid attention to before. The clothes people wore, the way some men were treated with respect, without saying much at all. He noticed how money spoke louder than effort, and how fear sometimes looked like power. Victor didn't see any of this. He was still focused on the pitch, still chasing the same dream, but they were no longer chasing it the same way. The city amplified the difference. Victor believed struggle was temporary. Kelvin started believing struggle was permanent, and permanent struggle felt unacceptable. Their conversations changed. Less dreaming, more tension. Victor talked about future opportunities. Kelvin talked about now. "You can't keep training forever," Kelvin said one night. Victor replied quietly, "You can't quit just because it's hard." The kind that doesn't argue back, because both of them believed they were right. And that's the dangerous thing about crossroads. They don't announce themselves. They just appear when you're tired, hungry, and afraid of failing. Kelvin didn't know it yet, but his path was already bending, away from the pitch, toward something faster, something easier, something that promised results. The city has a way of showing you two things at the same time: what you don't have, and what you could get if you stop asking questions. Kelvin started noticing people he hadn't before. Men who didn't wake up early, didn't train, didn't wait for permission, yet they had money, clean clothes, new phones, confidence that made others step aside. They moved through the city like it owed them something. One night, on his way back to the room, Kelvin ran into them. It started as a conversation, small talk, jokes, questions about where he was from. They listened. That alone felt different. When Kelvin talked about football, they smiled. Not mocking, just knowing. One of them said it casually, "You're wasting your time." Not harsh, not angry, just certain. He told Kelvin about easy work, quick jobs, nothing serious. "Just one thing," he said, "enough to get you back on your feet." Kelvin didn't answer, but the idea stayed that night. Victor came back late from training, sweaty, exhausted, still hopeful. Kelvin didn't tell him about the meeting. He told himself it didn't matter. Yet days passed. Victor talked about another trial, another chance. Kelvin nodded, but his attention drifted, because somewhere else in the city, money was being made without waiting. The temptation wasn't the money alone, it was respect. People didn't look at those men with pity. They looked at them with fear, and fear, Kelvin noticed, looked a lot like power. One evening, Victor finally noticed the change. "You're not training like before," he said. Kelvin shrugged. "I'm tired." Victor frowned. "Tired of what?" Kelvin didn't answer. Because how do you explain the fear of waking up one day and realizing your dream never cared about you? A few nights later, Kelvin went out again. This time, he stayed longer. He watched, listened. They didn't rush him. They didn't force anything. They just showed him the results. Cash, laughter, freedom. At least, that's how it looked. When Kelvin came back, Victor was asleep. Kelvin sat on the floor in the dark thinking, dreams take time. Money doesn't. The next morning, Kelvin skipped training. Victor noticed immediately. "You coming?" he asked. Kelvin shook his head. "Not today." Victor hesitated. "Kelvin, what's going on?" Kelvin looked away. "Football isn't working for me." The words hung in the air, heavy. Victor tried to argue, tried to remind him of the dream. But Kelvin had already started walking. And that was the moment, not when he took the money, not when he joined the gang, but when he stopped believing that Kelvin truly stepped off the pitch. The city didn't celebrate his choice. It simply opened another door. Things didn't break loudly. They cracked, slowly. Victor still woke up before sunrise, still tied his boots with the same care, still believed that consistency meant something. But now, he was alone. Kelvin was rarely in the room anymore. When he was, he came back late, smelled like smoke and unfamiliar places. He carried himself differently, straighter, sharper. Victor noticed the new clothes first, then the new phone, then the silence. One night, Victor finally asked, "Where are you getting all this from?" Kelvin didn't answer right away. He sat on the edge of the mattress, stared at the wall. "I'm working," he said. Victor waited. "That's not work." Victor replied carefully. "You know what I mean." Kelvin's jaw tightened. "You don't get it," he said. "I'm tired of waiting." Victor tried to keep his voice calm. "Waiting is part of it." Kelvin laughed again. That same laugh, the one that came from fear, not humor. "You're still dreaming," Kelvin said. "I'm surviving." The words hurt more than Victor expected, because they weren't just different opinions. They were different worlds. After that, they spoke less. When they did talk, every sentence felt like a risk. Victor stopped asking questions. Kelvin stopped explaining. Some nights, Kelvin didn't come back at all. Other nights, he came back angry. Victor pretended not to notice. Because acknowledging it would make it real, the final argument came quietly. Victor had just returned from another trial, another rejection. But this one felt different. The coach had said something encouraging. "Keep going." Victor was smiling when he entered the room. Kelvin was packing a bag. "What's going on?" Victor asked. Kelvin didn't look up. "I'm moving." The word hit harder than expected. "Where?" Victor asked. "Somewhere better." Victor stepped closer. "This isn't you," he said. "This isn't the plan." Kelvin finally looked at him. "The plan is broken," he said. "And you're too scared to admit it." Victor shook his head. "I'm scared of quitting." Then Kelvin said the one thing he knew would end the conversation. "Good luck with your dream." He walked out. The door closed softly behind him. No slam, no drama, just finality. Victor stood there for a long time, listening to the city outside, realizing that the person who knew him best was now a stranger. Two boys, one dream, now divided by choice. And from that moment, on divinity, whatever happened next, they would face it alone. After Kelvin left, the room felt bigger, not because there was more space, but because something important was missing. Victor trained alone now. No one to joke with, no one to complain to, no one to remind him of home. Just silence. There were days Victor almost quit. Days when his legs hurt so badly he could barely stand. Days when rejection letters piled up and encouragement felt like a lie people told to soften disappointment. He worked odd jobs to survive. Cleaning, carrying loads, running errands. Training came after work. Sometimes late at night, but still, he showed up. Because quitting would mean everything they went through meant nothing. One evening during a local match, something changed. A coach noticed him, not because Victor was the best on the pitch, but because he didn't stop running, didn't stop trying. After the game, the coach pulled him aside. No promises, no guarantees, just an opportunity. A small local team, no pay, just a chance to keep playing. Victor accepted immediately. It wasn't the dream, but it was a step. And sometimes steps are all you get. While Victor pushed forward slowly, Kelvin's life moved fast. Too fast. At first, Kelvin felt free. Money came quickly. Respect followed. People moved out of his way. His phone rang constantly. For the first time in a long time, he felt seen. But the nights grew louder. Darker. Sleep came harder. Trust disappeared. Every smile felt forced. Every silence felt dangerous. The same people who welcomed him also watched him closely. Mistakes weren't forgiven. Fear replaced excitement. And Kelvin began to understand something important. Fast money doesn't wait for you to be ready. It demands payment. Eventually, the city that once promised everything began to close in. The call came early. Victor was invited to a bigger trial. A real one, the kind he dreamed about. That same day, Kelvin faced a different reality. A job went wrong, sirens shouting. Running Victor stepped onto the pitch as Kelvin ran from it all. Kelvin was caught. No glamour, no escape. Just cold walls and regret. Victor made the team, not as a star, but as someone worth developing. When Kelvin heard the news, he laughed, then cried, because hearing about Victor's success felt like staring at the life he almost had. Time passed, guilt settled, pride broke, and eventually Kelvin asked for one thing: to see Victor. They sat across from each other. Older changed, no anger left, just honesty. Kelvin spoke first. "I chose the easy road," he said, "and it destroyed me." Victor listened, not as a footballer, not as a success story, but as a friend. They didn't fix everything, but they understood it. And sometimes, understanding is the beginning. Two boys, same start, different choices. Life doesn't reward dreams alone. It rewards endurance and punishes shortcuts. If you're watching this, and you're standing at a crossroads, choose carefully. Because the road you take today becomes the story you tell tomorrow. Thank you for listening. If this story meant something to you, like, comment, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Someone out there might need this reminder.